Hello guys and welcome to Tech Resurrected. In this episode, we are gonna talk about Google Pixel 4a. Now, Google announced this phone on August 3rd, very recently, and after so many delays and speculations and everything, finally this phone is launched. I mean, not technically. This phone has been announced on August 3rd, but in India, this phone will come in October. Google Pixel 4a is Google's ultimate mid-range phone because this phone comes after much liked Pixel 3a and 3a XL. They were amazing mid-range phone, and Google did some nice job with them, especially in the camera department. Pixel 3a and 3a XL were the mid-range phone, and they were the successor of Pixel 3, which was the flagship phone, and that had the biggest bathtub notch, and that didn't do well with critics and the consumers because of the design and everything. Don't get me wrong, that phone was wonderful, that phone was amazing. It's just that it didn't do well in the potential markets like India. Then comes Pixel 4, which was another new last year's flagship of Pixel device lineup, and it was not released in India. It was washed out in other markets because of the experimental features and experimental technology used in them, like Soli radar chip, which was quite interesting, we can say. But in India, for security reasons, that phone was never launched, and Google missed out in markets like India with Pixel 4. But now with Pixel 4a, Google is coming back to wider array of markets like India and all the other countries. But in India, it's launching on October, in month of October. So we have to wait for that. But in this video, we're going to talk about Pixel 4a. Now let's talk about the Pixel 4a in specifics. So there are some reasons with which we can say that this device is a perfect buy in a mid-range section in a market like India and for average consumers. And what are those reasons? Let's talk about them. So first one is, with this device, they have kept it very simple and very clean. What I mean is, there is only one device, no variations, no other variations, only one size, only one color, only one variant of RAM, only one variant of storage. Everything is single and easy and simple to remember. There are no 4a and 4a XL or nothing like that. There is only one variant, which makes it very simple for consumers, which makes it very simple to buy this phone. And there is only one price, that is $349, means $350. And for $350, that roughly translates into some 26,000 Indian rupees. This phone offers very good deal. Let's talk about this further in the video. Coming to the second part, that is the design. Now the design of this phone is quite contemporary and quite modern compared to the Pixel 3 as a huge notch and not notch but huge bezel, upper bezel and chin. In this phone, those bezels and chins are gone, and it is only with a punch hole display of the front camera. Otherwise, there is a full display on the phone, and it is 5.81 AMOLED display with full HD plus resolution of 1080 into 2340 pixels. And this Pixel with that punch hole design, it looks brighter, wider and crisper, and you get much higher display real estate in that phone. And it also is a small device. The form factor is so small, so it can fit easily in your hands. So that is that. There is protection of Gorilla Glass 3 in the front, and the back and the sides are plastic. So that's about the design. There is no IP rating, and because of the plastic back, there is no wireless charging in this phone. But it is a mid-range phone, so you can't expect those things to be downgraded from a flagship phone. However, the budget iPhone, that is iPhone SE 2020, offers a glass back, wireless charging and IP67 ratings also. So there is something to consider that. But on the plus point, Google Pixel 4a comes with AMOLED display with HDR support and always on display, and some perks and features like Google Assistant and other Google features like live captioning and improved Google Assistant. All those features are there. So on those regards, we can say that this phone has some edge and advantage in the mid-range section. Now coming to the third, that is the camera. Now this is the ultimate selling point for Pixel phones, so starting with since the beginning of the Pixel phones. So the camera and the software behind the image processing of Google, that is amazing, and that makes this phone a perfect and the best camera in a mid-range section phone ever, period. That's it. In this time also, Google has included the 12.2 megapixel f1.7 dual pixel face detection autofocus with optical image stabilization and electronic image stabilization in the camera, the primary camera. And we can say that this camera will capture some amazing and stunning images. And not to forget, there is night sight and astronomical photography included in this camera, so those are again advantages. This camera, we have to test it with the cameras of iPhone SE and OnePlus Nord, and I think there will be a very interesting competition between the camera of iPhone SE 2020 and this Google Pixel 4a whenever it launches in India. It will be a nice thing to watch, that how these two phones with amazing computational camera capabilities compare with each other in the real life. And in the video department, the rear camera can shoot up to 4K with 30 frames per second, and the front camera is 8 megapixel f2.0, and that can shoot up to 1080p at 38 frames per second. So those are the cameras included in Google Pixel 4a. Now coming about the fourth thing, that is the software and processor. Now Google Pixel 4a will come with vanilla clean Android experience and Android 10 out of the box. Also, you get 5 years of guaranteed software updates with all the Pixel phones. Also, you can test all the Android 11 beta software also in this phone. So in the software department, you are pretty much covered and safe with Google Pixel. This device comes with Snapdragon 730, Qualcomm's mid-range chip that is powering this phone. That is 8 nanometer chip, and we have to see it in the real life how it performs with 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. That is only one option in this phone, and we have to see that how it fares against the OnePlus Nord, which has 765G Snapdragon processor and up to 8 or 12 GB of RAM. So this is a mid-range phone and it is a mid-range chip. 730G is a good chip. We have to see how it fares in the real life. There is no comparison of this chip with iPhone SE's A13 Bionic, because that chip is very fast. Now, coming to the fifth and the last point, that is the price. Price of this phone is very competitive. At $349, this phone is very competitive in this segment against the iPhone SE, that is $399, and also some other mid-range phone. Because of the camera and Google software advantages, this phone is very competitive and very good deal at $349. That is roughly around 26,000. We have to see exactly how much it will cost in India, but this price is very competitive and very good for a mid-ranger. Now coming to some downsides of this phone, the very first thing which comes in my mind is the design and the build quality. Now the design is plastic, and front it is protected only with Gorilla Glass 3, which I feel is not up to the mark in 2020. This phone should be more premium or sturdier, but that's what you get. Again, there is no IP67 or 8 rating, or there is no wireless charging, so that is something which you have to compromise. But in this price range, that is understandable. Now the battery in this phone is 3140 mAh, which I think paired with this processor 730G, you should have at least a day of battery with Google's software optimization and 18 watt fast charging coming out of the box. This phone can charge very fast, and I think it should last up to 1 day, but we'll see once it launches in real day testing how it works. And another downside which I can feel is the display. It is not 90 Hz like Pixel 4a or 120 Hz in any other phone. It is just 60 Hz, and even OnePlus Nord has 90 Hz display. So Google has kept it to 60 Hz, which is a bummer for many people, but There is that you can get only 60 hertz of display in this phone. So overall, this device at this price range with Google's softwares and support and pure Android experience and with amazing camera capability, I think this device will give a lot of competition to other mid-rangers, and many people will choose this device because of the its future proofing and amazing camera. And at the same time, in October the market will be vulnerable because the hype around the OnePlus Nord and iPhone SE will die down at that time, and the mid-range market will be quite open. So that's it in this video, guys. Let's see how Google Pixel 4a will do in Indian market this time, and we'll catch you soon in the next one. Thank you very much.